Morning and welcome, Mauritius, to Inside News. It's our Friday show on the mark where we're going to preview the card with you. And I'm glad to say that Shahil is back with us after Raksha was with us for 2 meetings. And we had quite a good 2 weeks. And Shahil, you got some shoes to fill. We had a little bit of pressure because we've had a couple of, the last 2 meetings with Raksha was pretty good. And let's hope we can keep it going. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Mark. Happy to be back. And yeah, hopefully I'll up my game this time.
All right, let's start off with race 1. It's a 1600 meter 0:20, the J. Henry Ethier Cup. And I know I'm very, very keen on number 9, Anafesto. I know he hasn't won in Mauritius, nor has Brandon Louis. Brandon Louis hasn't had a winner either, but he's a hard worker. He's got that 4 kilos off his back. And I'm just going to go through the reasons why I think Anafesto is going to be quite hard to beat. And then we'll ask Shahil what he thinks about Anafesto. First of all, if you go back to that run on the 14th of April, where he finished 4th, for just over 4 lengths behind AP Strike, he carried 57 kilos. Now with that claiming, he's going to be carrying 53. You go to St. Arnold on that Pacific day, he finished just a length in front of Anafesto that day. And I think obviously the 4 kilos is going to be in Anafesto's favor. In fact, Anafesto is 4.5 kilos better off for that 1 length beating. And then an indirect form line, you just have to go to Zap. I know Zap's obviously going to be making a lot of improvement. He's a young horse. He's only had 2 runs here, but he is better off with Zap as well. So Anafesto, I know he is drawn 7, but he's the sort of horse that doesn't need a good draw. He does come from off them, and it would be nice to see the young rider ride his first win. He's only got 1 ride on the day, and I personally would like to see him in the winner's box because he's a hard worker. In fact, this morning when I went upstairs, he was on the mechanical horse pushing away, and he's a hard worker, so it'll be nice to see Brandon Louis win his first race here in Mauritius. Shahil, what's your thoughts on Anafesto?
I like him too. He ran very well last time over a shorter trip. I think the 1450 was a bit too short. 1600 should suit him better. And like you said, Brandon is working really hard. I've also seen him. He deserves his first winner. The low weight will compensate for that bad draw, I think. I'll go with Anafesto too.
Okay, great. Well, then let's just touch on the other runners in the race. Like I said, St. Arnold, he did run a length in front of Anafesto, but like as I mentioned, he's very he's not well in at the weights at all with Anafesto, but he's had 2 good runs this season, and I think obviously the 1600 isn't a problem for him either. He's drawn 6 just on the inside of Anafesto, but I suppose St. Arnold's probably the second best. And then like I said, Zap, he's made steady improvement. In fact, he made a lot of improvement in his second start, and I think he's just going to keep on improving. Charles, my boy, heavily backed last time. Probably let them down a little bit. And then Vintage Angel, he ran in at 0.15 last time. He ran a good second, but he is back up to a 0.20. And I don't think he's the most reliable horse. Shirley, any other horses you want to touch on?
Not really. I like those 3 too. Anafesto, Santano, and Charles, my boy. Okay,
great. So let's cap it up. Let's work it out quickly. What my selections are. Then I'll ask Shirley. I'm going to go Anafesto to win, St. Arnold to run second. And I'm expecting a much better run from Zap. Shahil, give us your trifecta quickly before
my trifecta would be Anafesto for first, for second I'll go with St. Arnaud too, and for third maybe Charles, my boy.
Okay, great. There we go. Right, race 2, the Top TV Cup. It's a 1400 meter benchmark 31. I want to talk about Afdik. For me, he's a little bit of a value bet. Well, he's going to be my value bet of the day. I really like this horse's training. I liked his South African form. And I watched his first race where he was very, very green. In fact, he was over-racing a little bit at the back, and you could just see that it was a run that he needed that experience quite badly. He's come on a lot from that race. I've seen him in training. Unfortunately, he didn't work fast the morning that I saw him, but his condition looks very, very good. I like Afdik. He's going to be my first choice. I'm going to ask Shahil what he thinks about Afdik, and then we'll discuss a couple of other horses.
Afdik, like you said, he needed his first run, I think, last time. Based on his South African form, he should win this race. He's a very good horse. The bad barrier maybe, I just don't know where Richard Oliver can place him. I hope he gets a good position, but like you said, he's a good value bet.
Yeah, I think the fact that the emergency acceptor is Red China is drawn 1, so Afdik's going to come into 6, which will be a little bit better for him, but I think he's going to be a better horse an easier horse to ride. He did give Richard Oliver quite a hard time on the debut, and I think with that experience, that run under the belt, he's going to be a lot better. With all due respect to the rest of the runners, I do agree with Shahil. It's not the strongest of fields, and he's probably going to be... I have mentioned to you in the past that I believe that the source is better than his rating of 26. So Afdik, he's going to be my first choice. He's going to be my value bet. I think he's trading around 500, 600 rupees, and I think he's worth a small little bet. Let's talk about his dangers, if any. What do you think about It Doesn't Matter?
I like him too. I think his 2 runs this season, you didn't like him much at training. I don't know if you've seen him recently. His coding has changed, and the last time he's finished second behind Chester's Wish. Robbie Fred is in super form. I believe he's the real danger to Aftik.
Yeah, I agree with you when you said that he's looking a lot better. He's looking a lot better. And I personally think a 1400 is going to suit him a little bit better than the mile. I know when he won on International that it was a 1500. It wasn't a great field, but I think a 1400 is going to suit him better. With that emergency acceptor coming out, he's going to be drawn 5. And like you said, Robbie Fred in the irons as well. He could just make the difference there. So it doesn't matter, it'll be my second choice. And then I want to just touch on G-Stud. He won his first race this season. Was a very good win when he went out to the front. And last time he was a winner everywhere except on the winning post. And it is a 1400. I can't see much taking him on for the lead. So G-Stud will probably be out in front. And if he dictates a pace, he could be quite hard to catch.
That's true. I'd just like to touch on number 9, Square the Circle. He's had a good barrier trial on Tuesday, and even in his South African form, he finished second behind Pietro Mascani, who was very highly rated by Mike de Kock. He wasn't so green in his barrier trial Tuesday, so just keep an eye on this horse for the future.
Okay, yeah. What have I said about Square the Circle? I said he's put on some good trials. I just think that the 1400 could be a little bit far from him. He is by the Stallion Royal Air Force. Most of his horses are sprinters. Obviously, there's been some exceptions where horses do sort of go further, but 1400 might be a little bit of a stretch for him. I know this horse personally. It was owned by a family member of mine in South Africa, and he thought that maybe the 1400 could be a little bit out of his touch, but that remains to be seen. Horses change when they come to Mauritius, but I do agree with you. His barrier trial on Tuesday was quite impressive, and I suppose we have to include Square the Circle if you're playing quartets or any of that sort of thing. Right, let's go to race 3. And obviously we're seeing let's first tell you about the race. It's the Top FM Breakfast Show Cup. It's a 1365 benchmark 41 and riding Shotgun. He's making his return after a very, very good debut in the 3-year-old championship. I thought it was a very good run behind Zodiac Jack. Unfortunately, he hasn't got the best of draws. And I don't know, I'm a little bit worried to banker this horse, I must be honest with you. I'm not going to banker him. He probably will be my first selection due to that first run. And it's not a great field, but I'm a little bit skeptical about riding Shotgun. I know, Shahil, what did you say about riding Shotgun?
I like him really much, and I'm going to bank on him, in fact. I just got a quick question for you. We see that he's going to run unshot from behind, so how does that affect a horse in a race?
Yeah, well, that is a little bit of a question mark for me, and it puts me off a little bit. Look, back shoes aren't as important as front shoes. Obviously, the shoes help horses grip, especially on this track. The grass isn't very well knitted, and obviously the shoes do help with traction, and it's not ideal, but it's much better than racing without shoes in the front. So that's another reason why I've got that little bit of a question mark. I'm not telling you that he can't win. Don't get me wrong. I'm just a little bit worried bankering him, especially you'd think after that very good run in the 3-year-old championship behind Zodiac Jack, where he was finishing nicely. Obviously, the 1365 is going to suit him a lot better as well. But I don't know. I'm just a little bit skeptical about riding Shotgun. One horse I want to talk about is Flower Blue. Obviously, he's the next best horse in the races, if you want to call it that. I don't think he was given the best rider last time by Jockey Mina. He's drawn 1 this time. He's got 57.5 on his back, and I do believe that this horse has got a very, very good chance. Remember, he was scratched in his first outing. He then came out and ran a week later. He looks a lot better, this horse, in training. And I do think that Flower Blue is probably going to be riding Shotgun's biggest opposition. And then I want to touch on one more horse. That's obviously Sky High Flyer. Also a decent run first time out in the 1,000. It was obviously a little bit short for him. He will be suited to the 1365. He'll be my third choice. Shahil, is there anything you want to talk about before we move over?
Actually, I did saw Shkacha yesterday at training. It was working really well, so maybe you can include him at the back end of the quartets.
Yeah, Shachar, well, he has lost his form slightly, but you just have to go back to last year where he obviously was doing very, very well. You can't write him off. It must be said, if you take riding Shotgun out of this race, it's quite difficult to find a clear winner. But once again, I'm going to repeat myself. I'm a little bit worried about bankering riding Shotgun. Right, race 4, 1365 benchmark 41. And yeah, I'm not worried about banking horse. I think Glorious Goodwood is going to be a very, very tough horse to beat. And I'm going to the reason why I say that, I'm just going to go back to his last race where I thought he was very unlucky. Derek David spent a lot of time on the backstretch trying to get the horse onto the fence. and he never eventually got there. And eventually, he probably had to make a move a little bit earlier than what he wanted to, and I think that's what cost him the race. Jumbo Man came out and ran a second in that race, and we saw that he came out and won. So the form has franked. He's drawn 3, and like I said, I thought he was very, very unlucky last time. I'm going to make Glorious Goodwood quite a hard horse to beat. What are your thoughts on Glorious Goodwood?
I like him a lot too. He went very close last time. He should go on and win this one. Like you said, he's your banker. I'm tempted to banker him too. Just a bit scared of Gameloft. The way he finished over 990 last time, he was better suited on the 3rd and 65. Gameloft should be the obvious danger for him.
Yeah, definitely. Gameloft has to be luckier. Like Shael said, it was a great run in that 990. It was his first run of the season. Obviously, he got scratched his first run, but he'd obviously come on a lot from that run. He's going to be a fitter horse, and I think Gameloft definitely has got a chance. Glen Coco, if you go back to his form last year where he beat Nottinghamshire, he ran second to Nottinghamshire. If he brings that sort of, sorry, not second, he got 4th, a length behind Nottinghamshire. If he brings that sort of form into the race, he obviously must have a big chance as well. Northern Rebel, he had that one run in the 3-year-old championship, the same race as Riding Shotgun. So it'll be quite nice to see how Riding Shotgun goes. If you want to have a bet on Northern Rebel, you can sort of judge how Riding Shotgun went. But Northern Rebel, he was a little bit slow away, but he was finishing the race nicely. He is drawn 2. He's got that 61.5. That's a little bit of a worry, but I suppose he must have a chance. You can't write off his chances. But I'm going to stick my neck out. I think I've got 2 bankers on the day. This is my first one. I think Glorious Goodwood, on his last run where I thought he was very, very unlucky, I'm going to bank at Glorious Goodwood. My second choice, Glen Coco, then Northern Rebel. Sherry, what's your trifecta?
I'll go with Glorious Goodwood, Gameloft, and Glen Coco.
Okay, great. Right, it's the 5th race, the Top FM Koze Dumo Pep Cup, 1650. Sorry, benchmark 46. And I have to say, this is quite a tough race. In fact, I found 2 tough races on the card. There's race 5 and race 7. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand this race over to Charles. You tell us a little bit about this, and then I'll talk about what I think.
I really like Kemal Gavo in this race. I think he might be the only one to lead, and his comeback run wasn't so bad last time. Or instructed, he won the race very well, but he didn't finish so far behind the second one. He's drawn 1, should be able to lead. Emal won well last time, beating Castle. He's up in class this time, but the distance should suit him better. Aveli's been working well also. And I've seen a horse yesterday in training, Grazing Control. He's down in class, should also run well. Like you said, it's a tough race, but I'll go with Kemal Gavo.
Okay, great. Let me talk about my first choice is going to be Avail. I think he ran a very good race in that merit rating 51 last time. I thought, in my opinion, I think JP Van der Merwe it was an excellent ride on Independence to deny Avail. He's come on a lot. He looks very, very good in the mornings. And like I said, he ran in at 51 last time. He's down to a 46. I really believe that Avail is going to be a tough nut to crack. There isn't a lot between him and Ima. In fact, they finish right on top of each other. Very well. In fact, I think it's almost the same conditions, the same weights. And I think Avail is going to turn the tables on Ima this time. Like I said, Ima, very, very consistent horse, and he never knows how to run a bad race, Ima, and you have to respect his chances. You can't write him off. I'm just going to, personally, I'm going to go with Avail. And then, like Shahil said, my third choice, Camel Kavai. Remember, this was one in a 56. This is a rating 46 on International Day. It was a great run. He's the only front runner in this race. From what I can see, I can't see him being bothered out in front, especially from draw 1. And Kemal Kavu, if he gets out in front and dictates his own pace, he too could be a tough horse to catch in the straight. So my trifecta, I'm going to stick with the Vale, and I'm going to bail out a little bit as far as I'm going to go with 2 horses, Ima, Kemal Kavu. I can't really separate the 2, but I'm going to stick with the Vale to win this race, and it's quite a tricky race. Shahil?
I'm going to go with Kemal Kavu. It would be Avail for second and Emal for third.
Okay, well, it's the same trifecta. Probably just going to cost you a little bit more because it's different order. Right, let's over the feature race, the Top FM Trophy. It's a bicentenary trophy. It's a Group 2. It's a 1,500-meter race, rating 60 plus. Couple of nice horses racing here. It's going to be quite an exciting race. There is only 8 runners, but it's a very, very sort of competitive field that they've managed to put together here. And the first horse I want to talk about is Kara, and I'll tell you why in a minute, why I like Kara tomorrow. Unfortunately, he is drawn 7 out of 8, but he's run some good races from bad draws. I think he might just be able to get out in front. Obviously, there is Kremlin Captain and Speed Limit and even Reem that are quick as well. But I think Cara is going to be able to get out to the front. The reason why I like Cara, he's 2.5 kilos better off with Hard Day's Night this time. Although you have to say Hard Day's Night won it very, very easy last time. He won easier than what it looked. But I want to go back to that penultimate run on the 8th of April where he got beat half a length by Hard Day's Night. Remember, he was 5 kilos worse off on that occasion. He's now carrying level weights, and I think that's what's going to swing in the favor of Cara. I really believe he's going to be a tough horse to beat. You even have to go back to last year where they met. I think it was on the 30th of September where he beat Hard Day's Night. He was a kilo, I think he was a kilo worse off, 1.5 kilos worse off. Is now level weight. So Cara, not only on paper as far as the handicap's concerned, but he's looking very, very good in the mornings. And I really do like Cara. I'm going to ask Shahil, before you talk about your selection, tell me a little bit about Cara. What do you think?
I actually liked him too a lot before I was making my papers last night. I really don't like that 7th barrier. I think he'll use quite a lot of fuel before he gets the lead, because there are some rapid horses like Kremlin Captain and even Speed Limit or even Rim who could be the pacemaker in this race. Yeah. I just think that based on the last run that they had between Hard Day's Night and Cara, it could play out the same way. I don't know if you remember last time when Hard Day's Night, he followed in the box seat just behind Cara, and JP in the final stretch didn't ask much from Hard Day's Night. He just pushed the button and he didn't even have to draw the whip on him, and Hard Day's Night just quickened away.
Yeah, he did. He won a very, like I said earlier, he won fuller running, and I think that the winning margin doesn't really suggest how well he won, because JP was looking over his shoulder with 100 to go. So it was a very impressive win. Yeah. I do agree with you. Kremlin Captain, Speed Limit, both having their first runs this season. Are they going to be sort of really urged early on? You know, Kremlin Captain, he's a very, very good horse. He's obviously had some soundness issues, and it will be nice to see him come back sound after this race. One horse I want to talk to you about is the Duchess winner, Baritone. I thought it was a very, very good win when he won the Duchess. Obviously, last time, maybe you can excuse him, it was his second run after layoff, but he too is doing very, very well at home.
I agree with you. He's a powerful finisher. He will finish very well, I think. He definitely has a place in the top 3.
Okay, and then, well, is there anything else you want to touch on? I just want to say Scottsnog, you can never ignore this horse. Obviously, he is drawn 8 out of 8. It's going to be a bit tough for him, but he has run amongst the best, and I suppose you have to consider him maybe for a quartet, but I'm going to stick with Cara. I believe that he has got the speed. Robbie Fair's a top rider. I'm sure if plan A doesn't work out, he can quickly switch to plan B. He's a very, very clever rider. And Cara, like I said, he's just caught my eye in the last couple of days in training, and he's a top horse on his day, and I do believe that he's going to be my first choice. So I'm going to go Cara. I like Baritone. I like the way he's been working. He's got that second run under the belt. That's out of the way. And then I'm going to go with Hard Day's Night. I think the handicap is slowly catching up with Hard Day's Night.
I'm going to go with Hard Day's Night. I believe tomorrow will be his real test to enhance his credential for the Barbet. For second, I'll go with Cara, and for third, Baritone.
Okay. Once again, same trifecta, just in different orders. Right. Race 7, the Top FM Leve Maurice Cup. I think that means wake up Mauritius in the morning. It's an open race. It's a 1,500 meter benchmark 51. I do believe that there's an argument for almost every runner in this race. So I'm going to give you my views, and then we'll ask Shahil what he thinks. My first choice is going to be number 6, Memphis Mafia, after that very, very good run behind Lee Star. He only got beat 2 lengths. He's drawn 1, and this horse's work has been very, very good. In fact, Memphis Mafia, one of the eye-catching workouts during the week, and I really believe that Memphis Mafia is going to be the horse to beat. He's running a lot stronger than what he's taking on today. You just have to go. He's running a 66. He's running a Group 3, 66 ratings, and I think down to a 51 with 59.5, drawn 1. And you just have to see what Lee Star came out and done after winning. So Memphis Mafia, he's going to be my first choice in a tough race. Shahil, what do you think about Memphis Mafia?
He's the obvious danger to steal a march. He's drawn 1. Like you said, he's always running a higher benchmark. He should be very competitive in this field. But I really like Stilamot during this week. His work on Tuesday and even yesterday was really impressive. I don't find him so tough. I think it will be a match between number 2 and number 6. Maybe I'll just have a little preference for Steal March.
Okay, what about Belenos? Because Belenos did finish in front of Steal March last time. Unfortunately, he lost the race on objection. Since they put, well, not since they put the blinkers, it was the first time they put blinkers on. And I thought it made the difference. Look, objections, there's always going to be different opinions. I thought he was a little bit hard done by losing the race. He did finish in front of Stila March, although he did get up to, relegated. But remember, there's also now a 2 kilogram
Worse
turnaround in the weight. So Belenos, I think you have to respect his chances. What do you think?
I just don't like the draw. Last time he was drawn 1, and this time he's drawn 7. There are some rapid horses like Netflix and Ryder Cup in this race. I just don't know where he'll be able to place himself. Maybe he'll be wide in the race. So I prefer Memphis Mafia and Stila March, who's drawn better than him.
Okay. One also I want to touch on, I thought was an excellent run in the 61 last time, was Netflix. The stable slowly coming to form. Let's hope they have a winner soon. It's so nice to see stables not winning. And I thought it was a very, very good run behind Jolly Roger. And he has got that 3 kilograms off his back as well. And I don't think the draw is a major factor for him. He does run on well from behind. And I think that Netflix definitely got a chance in this race. I'm going to give you my selections. I'm going to stick with Memphis Mafia. I like Netflix as well. And I think that Belenos is going to turn the tables on Stila March. Sorry, I'm going against your choice, Shahil. What's your trifecta?
I'm going to go with Stila March for second, Memphis Mafia, and for third, Belenos.
Okay. All right, so it's pretty similar, although I've shoved Netflix in there. Right, race 8, the Top FM Hot Turf Talk Cup. And it is a 990. It's a benchmark 36. And this is my bank of the day. I'm only going to talk about one horse. Well, I suppose I'll have to mention Mooney. But Zodiac Jack, for me, I can't see this horse losing. Purely on his win last time in the 3L Championship. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for him from that bad draw. He got shoved out 6-7 wide going over that final road. But the way this horse turned it on and the way he quickened up, I think this horse is special. He's drawn 1 this time. He's going to have the run of the race. Cedric can put him wherever he wants to. And I do believe Zodiac Jack's going to be a tough, tough horse to beat. Go back to that run to Mooney. Obviously, Mooney has beaten him. They're meeting at the same terms. But I thought that on that particular day, Zodiac Jack was very, very unlucky to get beat. From that bad draw, Cedric had to sit him in, went for that run down the inside, had to switch him out, and he went down half a length. And in fact, he was finishing so strongly, I honestly believe another 2 strides, he could have probably got up and beaten Mooney. So Zodiac Jack, I'm confident. I'm going to bank him. And Shahil?
The reason why I like Mooney is that because of the distance, I believe Zodiac Jack, like you said, is a very good horse. And in fact, I think he'll go on and win the 3-year-old championship. But I just don't like him at the 990. I think he's asking for more ground, this horse. He's drawn 1, yes. But this week there's no false rails. I just think that the 990 could be a tad too short for him. That's why I go with Mooney. He'll go in front. He's got very good gate speed. I think the World Dreamer is a quick speedy sort. But I just think Mooney will lead, and I just don't know if Zodiac can peg him back on the line. If he wins, I think he'll peg him back just on the line. I don't think Zodiac will win by margin.
Yeah, I think personally, I understand what you're saying, and I do agree with some of your points. I just think with this draw, he's going to be in a much better position than he was the day that he got beaten. He was quite a couple of lengths behind that day when he had that 8 out of 8 draw. This time, Cedric's going to be able to place him wherever. Remember when he won first time out that 1365, he went to the front, and he's obviously got the speed. I just believe that when he goes to the front from that draw 1, Cedric's probably he's not going to let him get away. And he's going to be right up his backside or close to it. And we've seen Zodiac Jack how he quickens up. So we're going to, sorry, let me just go back to the selections. Anyway, I'm not going to give I'm just going to bank a Zodiac Jack. I think he's going to be a tough, tough horse to beat. And he's going to be my bank of the day. You're going to go with Mooney. Is there anything else you want to talk about in the race?
No, not really. I think between these two, Mooney and Zodiac Jack maybe played the exact.
Yeah, exactly. Probably not going to pay much, but
yeah,
more money than you're going to get from your interest in the bank account. Right, the last race, the Chika Cup, it's a 1400 meter 0.25, and I do like the look of number 10 Stockbroker. I think he could possibly follow in the steps of Perplexing last week. He ran that very good race first time out in the rating of 31, although it must be said that form hasn't really stood up. A lot of horses that have run behind the brass bell haven't really gone on and done much, but I think that he's come on a lot. Personally, I think he was a little bit too handy last time when Sunil Basant rode him. I'm not blaming Sunil. He obviously had a decent draw, but I just thought that he rushed him a little bit too early on, and he never had that same finish. I think this horse wants to be given a patient ride, although he's drawn 2, but so he won't be far off them. But I think he's going to be following the footsteps of Perplexing. I've seen him at work, very, very good condition, and I think that Stockbroker in this sort of field probably going to be my first choice.
I agree with you. In fact, last time he had quite some traffic problems at the 600 meter mark. The 1400 meters should suit him better. He's drawn 2. He's definitely in with a chance. I'd just like to touch on number 8. If the viewers has watched Jour de Galop on Tuesday, this horse has really impressed you on his bio trial, so you'd like to touch on him?
Yeah, definitely. I like this horse. In fact, I've written down in my book, very impressive South African form. If you go to his second run where he ran in the nursery, now nursery is for sort of top 2-year-old horses in Cape Town. He got beat 4 3/4 lengths by that horse, Dutch Philip. Dutch Philip considered one of the best sprinters of his generation. And remember, Zodiac Jack was in that race. And in fact, Zodiac Jack, I think, finished just about 2 lengths in front of Badawi. We've seen what Zodiac Jack has done. And this horse's work has been very, very impressive. We did show you his barrier trial on Tuesday. And I do believe if this horse isn't green, he could probably upset, well, I wouldn't say upset, but he's been heavily backed. You were telling me he's been heavily backed already.
But I think we can't base on the first day odds. We have to see a game today.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, there are some betting support from Badawi.
Yeah, well, he's an impressive looking horse, and I do believe that Badawi's he's got a bright future in Mauritius. I did say that on Tuesday as well, and I definitely think that you've got to keep an eye on this horse, Badawi. Right, then one horse I want to talk about is Starsky, finally coming to form. When I say coming to form, I don't know how many times we followed him last year, and he always let us down. He's drawn 1 this time. Pre-times horses seem to run well when they're on the fence for some reason, and I think that he's definitely a danger, but I don't think he's in the class of these younger horses, these 2-3-year-olds, Badawi and Stockbroker. But you've got to consider him. And then C-Pass, well, I've given up on C-Pass. And then, unfortunately, Raj is also in the trenches. Another horse we showed you on Tuesday, working exceptionally well. Keenan Steyn, I thought maybe this could be his first winner, but unfortunately they've been dealt a blow with that 10 draw, and it is going to be tougher in the trenches from that draw. I'm not writing off his chances, but he could be sort of an each-way bet, but it's not going to be easy from that draw. Shail, what do you want to talk about in this race? Anything that's caught your eye?
Yeah, it's quite tough actually. Dark Liberty put up a good gallop on Tuesday. The way he led last time, I don't know if he'll be able to do that again this time. If he leads, he might have a chance, but it's a very tough race.
Yeah, I think if you look at Dark Liability, remember he did have that 3 kilo claiming. This time he doesn't have it, so he's quite bad off at the weights with Stockbroker. In fact, Stockbroker carried 61.5. He carried 58. Now Dark Liability 60 towards 58. So there is a nice turnaround there for Stockbroker. I do believe he's going to sort of, with that racing experience under his belt, he's going to be the horse to beat. But I'll say it again, keep an eye on Badawi. I really do like this horse. Right, let me give you my trifecta before we close up. I'm going to go Stockbroker, Badawi, and I think Starsky with that draw 1. He's probably going to be the best of the rest.
Again, like we did today, same trifecta, just not the right order. I'll go with Stockbroker, Starsky, and Badawi.
Okay, great. Well, there we go. That's all we have for you. I think before we do go, let me just give you I've got 2 bankers. I'm going to go with Glorious Goodwood and Zodiac Jack. And then my value bet was, I must just remember.
Afdik.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, Afdik. I think he's going to be my value bet. I've a little bit of a blackout there. All right, so Afdik, I think he's definitely going to improve from that first round. I'm going to make him my value bet. My 2 bankers, Glorious Goodwood and Zodiac Jack. Shail, give us your bank and value bet.
I really like the 3-year-old riding shotgun. I'll go with him even if he's unshot behind. And for the value bet, I'll go with you. I really like Afdik too. On his South African form, he should be able to win this one.
Okay, well, there you go. That's myself and Shail. Thanks very much for joining us. Remember, catch us up on Tuesday where we're going to do our Jour de Galop, and you'll see us again next week, Friday. Have a great day's racing. Goodbye.